Hey everybody, Aaron Schumann with Superhero Productions. How you doing? Want to say thank you to everybody that wished me happy birthday the other day. It made me feel great. I was having lunch with a friend on my birthday, and I was sharing with him this sort of life compass thing that I've been using for a couple years. Those of you that know me well may have had me give this spiel once before, but I shared it with him and he thought it was really great and recommended that I record this and share it with other people. So this is my attempt to do that. This is something that I call the Gravities. And it's something that I use to kind of help me identify when I'm doing great, when I'm not doing great, kind of adjust my energies, if you will, so that I can be the most productive person I can be. And the way this works is that you have a couple different forces acting on you at any given time. And I like to think of those forces as friction and flow. Probably a lot of you have heard of the flow state. And then you also have pull and push. So the way I think about this is you have external factors that are working against you all the time, and I like to think of those in terms of friction and flow. So in friction to me is like, you know, when you're just having a rough day, like every light is red and, you know, people blow up your phone when you're trying to concentrate, or just things are not happening easily like they are when you're in like a flow state where everything is moving along nice and groovy, no issues, everything's kind of going your way. So that's why I think of flow versus friction. And then you have push and pull, which I tend to think is more internal. So days that you're feeling really motivated and have a lot of energy, you have a lot of push, a lot of motivation. Days when you're feeling really tired or anxious or sad or upset, or tired or anything like that, I think of that as pull. So you got friction, flow, push, pull. So how this works is that usually from day to day you're going to be finding yourself in the intersection of these forces. And those intersections I label as this. You have the force over here. You have the zone over here, you have crash down here, and you have coast over here. And the way I like to think of this is that if you have a lot of friction, but you have a lot of push, you're using the force to sort of overcome that friction and achieve what it is you're trying to achieve. And the force is amazing. Some of the biggest things that humans have ever done, like land on the moon or invade Normandy or any sort of thing like that, any major achievement that was really hard, probably happened with some degree of force being used. Now, the force is really powerful, like I said, but it's also very, very energy draining on the person using it. So think of it like Jedis. They don't go around like using the force all the time. They're judicious with it because it takes a lot out of you because you're having to overcome a lot of friction and really push yourself past that to do whatever it is you need to do. But it's there for you, and it's what I call the force. The opposite end down here, when you have a lot of friction and you're feeling a lot of pull, this is what I call the crash zone. This is probably the worst zone. This is where your worst life events will happen. And that's, like I said, just a lot of friction and a lot of internal pull. You want to stay out of this zone at all costs. On the other side, if you have a lot of pull, but you have a lot of flow, I call this the coast. And I see this a lot of times with like very successful people that kind of take their foot off the pedal in a way. It's like everything's moving and grooving in terms of external friction. They don't have a lot of it, but without a lot of push, you're just going to kind of coast your way through your daily activities. And that's where a lot of people sort of tend to atrophy or kind of fall off or lose their edge. And if you stay there too long, bad things can happen, you know. So the coast is great to recharge yourself, especially if you've been using a lot of force. But just know you shouldn't aim to stay here forever. It's more like a recharge state. And then, of course, you have the zone up here where you have a lot of flow and a lot of push, and that's the sweet spot. And unlike the force, when you're in the zone, it doesn't deplete your energy in the same way. In fact, I find that for myself and other people that I observe are in the zone, they can stay there for extended periods of time. And that's where you're going to be at your most creative, your most productive, your happiest. Sometimes it's hard to get to this place because either you have a lot of friction or your push isn't high enough or whatever. But that's where you're trying to get to. And that's where I'm trying to get to whenever I'm trying to be creative. And the reason I developed this system is to be able to sort of use it as a compass to figure out where am I right now or at any given time. I usually do this once a day. I'll sort of plot, where I think I am on this matrix. Today, I think I'm probably more in the force because it's Monday and it's not a terrible amount of friction, but I'm definitely not in the zone yet today because I'm just trying to plan out my rest of the week. But I can kind of look at this and see this is about where I feel like I am, and it helps me read like what's going on internally, and it helps me take a look at what are the factors acting on me externally. And over time, you can sort of develop a cluster of points to figure out like where are you at normally, or on average, you could say, and what would help you get to this place. And it's sort of like, if you don't know where you're going, it's hard to know when you get there, sort of thing. So I know where I want to get. I can pretty much figure out, according to these axes, where I'm at, and it helps me understand what I need to do to increase my flow or my push so I can get to the zone to do what I want to do. So thank you for listening. This is the Gravities. Hope you enjoy. Try it out and let me know what you think. Leave me a comment, and I'll catch you guys later.